We're joined by the President of the Lib Dems, Tim Farron. Welcome to our Daily Conference, Daily Politics special. You have said that, as far as this coalition is concerned, divorce is inevitable. Why?
Because it's a fixed-term parliament to 2015, and the partners will go their separate ways in the run-up to that election.
Yeah, but you could come back together again.
Of course, it could happen.
So it's not a divorce. I mean, all coalitions work like that. Yeah, you separate come the election.
Absolutely.
But you don't rule out coming back.
Well, who knows? It depends what the arithmetic's like at the end. I mean, I suppose
in principle, you don't rule it out.
No, of course I don't.
So why would you say divorce is inevitable? And that this is a temporary marriage?
Well, of course it's temporary. Up until we are an independent party, we want to win the general election outright.
No, we know
if that doesn't happen, then of course you have to be big enough to look at the arithmetic.
If the next election produces a result in which the Conservatives are the largest party without an overall majority, and with your votes could form a government as they do now, are you ruling out that you would renew the coalition?
Of course I'm not. No,
so it's not divorce?
Well, it isn't divorce. I mean, it's not a marriage either. It was a good excuse to tell an Eric Pickles joke, to be honest with you.
So the words didn't mean anything?
Well, I mean, we are obviously in this business together, Liberal Democrats and Conservatives. It is a temporary arrangement, whatever happens. When the next general election comes...
5 years isn't very temporary.
And it's important that it is 5 years.
Longer than most marriages these days.
It's important that it is a full 5 years as well, because the one thing that is critically important, I mean, you look into your crystal ball and it's very interesting to see what kind of arithmetic you get out of it. But the one thing that I'm absolutely certain the British people want, whatever my political views and others as well, is we need a stable government that can see us through the most bleak times.
I understand that, but the fact is, when you said divorce is inevitable, you were just playing to the Lib Dem gallery, weren't you?
I was saying that this is not a permanent arrangement. This is not a merger. This is not two parties coming together in an alliance.
No one's ever said it was a merger. I mean, you're setting up Aunt Sally's that don't exist. No one's ever claimed this was a merger of the parties. You both of your parties deny there'll even be a coup in election where you'll have an electoral pact.
Well, and that's absolutely so. It won't be. I think if you look at, people like our good friend Polly Toynbee, who will write week after week about somehow the Lib Dems having changed their politics because we're in coalition, that's rot, and in a sense it was a crude way of putting it.
You say it's wrong or rot, but last time I looked, Polly Toynbee wrote for The Guardian, and you're a self-styled Guardianista.
I'm a Guardian reader, I am.
Which means that in your heart of hearts, if you had a choice, and all things being equal, you would much rather have to share power with Labour than the Conservatives. I mean, why don't you just admit it?
No, because when it all comes down to it, we are an independent party. What I've always found really difficult to understand from people like yourself, Andy, if you don't mind me saying so, is that you can't really grasp that Liberal Democrats are Liberal Democrats. If I'd wanted to join the Labour Party, I would have done.
I'm not saying you want to join the Labour Party. I'm saying that as a self-styled Guardianista, a man who's on the left, you're on the left, you would rather, all things being equal, share power, be in coalition with Labour rather than the Tories. I would rather, all things being equal,
win a general election, and we didn't.
Yeah,
and neither the Tories and neither the Labour Party.
Well, and you're
not. So instead, the British people said, sort it out, and they gave us arithmetic that pointed in one direction and one direction only.
And the chances are, be honest with this. I mean, I don't understand why you can't just say that. Look, I know the reasons why we have to be in power with the Tories at the moment. I understand. I'm not very happy about it. I understand it. But all things being equal, I would rather share power with Labour if I had to share power with anybody.
No.
Correct?
No. The bottom line is you look at the circumstances you are given. I mean, I'm absolutely sure that we did the right thing going into coalition, and the only option we had was to go in with the Conservative Party. Us plus Labour was 11 short of a majority. If we bottled out and sat on our hands, the Tories would have won an October general election.
We've heard all that. I want to look forward.
Surely that's the right thing to do.
The mood box showed that the rank and file at this conference would rather be closer to Labour than the Tories, correct?
I think your mood box showed that there was lots of people who didn't want to put a ball in either box.
No, I know that.
And took the view that it is a false question.
But most wanted to be with Labour.
It's a false question. I mean, what you've got to do is look at... I mean, I don't want to get very boring about the Constitution here.
Campbell said that he saw Labour as the most natural coalition party. Paddy Ashdown set up a joint committee with Labour. Sure. Your Matthew Oakeshott there said the party's heart beats to the left.
Yeah, but you've got to look at politics.
So why are you denying that black is white?
Politics is an axis of vertical and horizontal. There's the liberal and the illiberal, the liberal and the authoritarian, and if you like, the interventionist and the more free market. And to say that it's just that we are just one place along that line is just inaccurate and incorrect.
All right.
And when all's said and done, I got involved in politics. I didn't expect, to have an easy ride during the Liberals. It wasn't a good career move, but I got involved in politics. I wanted my politics to prevail, and sometimes you have to go into coalition with other other people to make those things happen.
You've described your coalition party, the Tories, as witless and reactionary. Which particular Tories in government are witless and reactionary?
No, I referred to some of the remarks that were made by some Conservatives
ones?
and some Conservative writers in some of the newspapers.
No, you didn't talk about Conservative writers, Mr. Farron.
With regard to the riots.
About the Tories.
With regard to the riots, and I talked about some of the responses that were made from people like, you know, my fellow Ken Daly and David Starkey, who is supporter of the Conservative Party, who is supporter of the Conservative Party,
MP.
and I didn't say Conservative MPs. If you read my speech, you'll see that there are plenty of people and plenty of views expressed by the likes of the Daily Mail. Dare I say, even the Murdoch press, how dare they make comments at this time, but they did anyway.
So let me just get this right as you wriggle out of this.
Am I?
As you wriggle out of this, when you describe the Tories as witless and reactionary, you were not describing any Conservative MPs as witless and reactionary.
Let's go back to the riots, which are, what, 7 weeks ago now. I mean, those are absolutely appalling. And the one thing I'm absolutely certain of is that I'm not certain what the causes were. And I'm absolutely certain that we have to listen to people and make sure our response is considered and thoughtful. And there are some people on the right, and you know that because you'll have interviewed some of them.
Well, I'm trying to get the names from you.
You know that. And those people, well, you know, Dr. Starkey, bless him.
He's not a Conservative MP.
And those people have decided to pour petrol on the flames of discontent by invoking racial stereotypes and so on. And am I not right to draw attention to that?
Who among the Tories are, quote, the ideological descendants of people who sent children up chimneys?
Well, I think those people who think, which is, of course, Vince's comments yesterday.
But who are they?
And, well, those people who say, I mean, all of us want to, I hope, get rid of red tape that strangles business. But we mustn't get mixed up between that red tape which strangles business and that red tape that actually protects people's basic rights in the workplace.
Could you just remind us who got rid of the children going up chimneys?
I imagine it was probably the Liberals, I don't know.
No, it was Lord Shaftesbury. He was a Tory.
Indeed, and there's lots of people...
So who are the... As I remember, the ideological descendants of people who wanted to do that were your old Liberal Party.
Lots of people who today would rather get rid of red tape, and it's very easy to be populist, and you know it's tempting because I do it myself sometimes to say things about red tape when actually what we're talking about are things that protect basic liberties and freedoms of work.
But it's a kind of cheap shot to say people who want to get rid of red tape are people who want to send kids up chimneys.
I want to get rid of red tape that's not necessary, that strangles business.
Let me ask you this: Vince Cable has said that we could be heading for a prolonged period of stagnation. If you hit, what are the political consequences of that? If you hit 2015 and we're still in stagnation, electorally, you're toast.
Well, I mean, we all know that this is a really unbelievably difficult period. You remember, I've quoted him before, Mervyn King said that whoever took power in 2010 would be out of power subsequently because of all the horrible decisions they have to make for a generation afterwards. Now, the Liberals were normally out for 5 generations, so one's a good deal, isn't it, really? But the point I'm making is that whoever's in power is going to have to take horrific decisions. And the entry or the exit from this awful period, I can't predict when it's going to be. I want it, I hope, and I believe it will be in advance of 2015.
Are very bad.
The political consequences for the Liberal Democrats could be very, very large. But the consequence of this country of us not being mature and enter a coalition and maintaining a stable coalition, despite the fact we have our disagreements with the Tories, would be much greater. And in that sense, we're doing the right thing.
Just look me in the eye and be straightly honest with me. All this Tory bashing, divorce is inevitable, witless and reactionary
you're reading,
Tories that you can't name. You're just positioning yourself to pick up the leadership if the coalition goes pear-shaped.
No. OK? Simple answer.
You don't want to be leader of the Lib Dems?
I have no such ambition.
You don't? So if offered, will not accept?
Certainly not. I mean, my
you
view
will
is
refuse the leadership?
It's not going to come up. Nick Clegg is doing a brilliant job.
But if you were offered, would you refuse?
Yes. Not only is Nick Clegg doing a great job, but he is also a mate and somebody who deserves support.
Have you had the job doing the rounds here? What does Tim Farron want to be when he grows up?
Simon Hughes.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that really your ambition?
I mean, everybody's ambition should be like
That's
to
as
be
far
like
as
Simon
it goes?
Hughes. Is it not your ambition when you grow up?
No.
Oh.
We've got a badge here. How would you like? Would you like I Love the Euro? How about I Love the Euro?
Ambition.
Would you like to wear that?
I'll not wear it.
But well, why not? All your party manifesto said you wanted to join it.
I'd say that we're in a pretty difficult position at the moment with the Euro and the Eurozone.
I love tuition fees. How about that?
I don't love tuition fees.
But you voted for them. You voted for them.
I did not.
You didn't, but your party has.
I would like to get rid of tuition fees.
Maybe this is Maybe this is the best one. Don't panic.
I always say panic constructively. Panic constructively. Next.
I would say calm down to a panic.
Thank you.
Tim Farron, thanks for being with us on this special show from Birmingham.